And tonight, tempers flare. Disputed results in the Ablekuma North constituency of the Greater Accra region as attempts by the Electoral Commission of Ghana to complete collation of parliamentary results fails on 5 different occasions.
There were some figures on it and some handwritings weren't mine. That's what I told the returning officer when I came last Monday.
Handwritings on the pick sheet wasn't
figures, and some part of the handwritings wasn't mine. That's what I told the returning officer.
And top story, as always, is brought to you by Telecel, connecting energy, and also Holy Insecticide Spray and Quell. Enjoy a holy sleep. Well, tonight for 5 consecutive times, attempts by the Electoral Commission of to complete the collation of parliamentary election results for the Ablekuma North constituency of the Greater Accra region has yet again ended up in a deadlock. The constituency was amongst a total of 9 parliamentary election results initially withheld by the Electoral Commission of Ghana. Breaches within the constituency on election day. Well, the EC, as we know it, suspended the process of the tallying of the results as an electoral dispute forced the parties to wait on an Accra High Court to give its final verdict after the earlier decision of the Supreme Court quashing the recollection exercise. But it has been more than 30 days after the 2024 parliamentary and presidential elections, and there's still no end in sight as to who will be the next to occupy the seat as Member of Parliament for the Ablekuma North constituency of the Greater Accra region. And even as we speak, that exercise is still underway at the Greater Accra Regional Collation Centre. And time now to bring in my colleague James Veji, who's been monitoring the collation process for us, which is now erupting into some level of chaos and violence as we speak. And James, bring us up to speed with the very graphic pictures we saw earlier on the Joy News channel, where of course one of the agents of the political parties decided to engage in a brawl.
Parties, the NDC and the NPP, who in fact held checks on the neck of each other and nearly threw blows at each other, but for the quick intervention of the police who are on duty. And so for those of you who might have watched the visuals, that was stemming from one of the authentication process. We know that on Monday, the EC, according to them, have been able to, the NPP said they can provide the Electoral Commission with the scanned copies of the 30 outstanding, 20 outstanding polling stations, which the EC said they do not have the pink sheets to. And so Monday, the NPP provided 13 out of, in fact, they provided all the 20 to the Electoral Commission. But the EC said the authentication process would demand that they would have to invite the presiding officers who presided over the election in those 20 polling stations to come and authenticate the result as well as the signatures on these stations. And so as at Monday, they said they've been able to authenticate 13 out of the 20, and they were supposed to deal with 7 of them. Just today, before the period started, the NDC raised some allegations on this.
Well, so let's get to this because that's the reason perhaps for which we're witnessing what we're witnessing now at the Greater Accra Regional Collation Centre. The fact that the presiding officer appears to be some fresh claims as well on the pink sheets, which he says has details containing his name, first of all, some other details of his, except that the signature, he says, does not belong to him. He's been speaking to you. Give us a sense of what he's been telling you and why he's raising these issues now.
In fact, this presiding officer is Nathaniel Klinsman Abume. He presided over the elections at the RC Church Buzia Junction at Odoko. Now, according to him, when the EC finished the authentication of the 13 polling stations on Monday, they declared to the political parties that all of the 13 have authenticated it. But he said when he met the EC, he told them that he did not recognize the handwriting on the pink sheet and the signature, and so he cannot confirm that, contrary to what the EC has told the political parties.
Were you brought back for the authentication process of the pink sheet?
Okay, so I was invited to the EC office on Monday on the 7th of January. That was just days ago.
Which of the offices, this or the headquarters?
Yeah, this office. You came to this office.
What was the invitation? What was the invitation about?
Okay, so we were called to come and authenticate some pink sheets. The ones having issues. So that's what we came to do. That was last Monday.
Now, the NDC said they brought you to come and counter the EC's earlier information that you authenticate. When you look at the pink sheet, what did you observe? What was your decision? Did you authenticate it?
No, I didn't, because there were some figures on it and some handwritings weren't mine. That's what I told the returning officer when I came last Monday.
Handwritings on the pink sheet, was it?
Figures and some part of the handwritings wasn't mine. That's what I told the returning officer. That was what happened on Monday.
You feel the handwritings, the writings were manipulated?
I can't say. I just know it's not mine. So I don't know where from.
What about the signature?
The signature was mine. The name was mine too. The name was mine. The signature was mine.
So you did not authenticate it?
No, I didn't authenticate it because I told the returning officer it's not.
The forms are in 3 parts.
Fortunately, we have the deputy election director for the National Democratic Congress, Dr. Rashid Tanko, who's joining us tonight. Fortunately, he's been monitoring the process as well. Haruna Mohammed is Deputy General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party. And thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. We are, of course, witnessing rather an unfortunate situation based on the fact that, in fact, the 9th Parliament, as we speak, is in session, except for the Ablekuma North now, which does not have a seating member of Parliament. Not because the election did not take place, except to say that we now are dealing with a fresh case of disputes upon disputes. I want to hear from you, Rashid Tanko, on this latest claim from Nathaniel Klinsman, who is the presiding officer within the area. You are equally his claim that, the details on this pink sheet is not accurate. What's the concern really of your party on this?
My brother, let me say good evening to my colleague Haruna, Professor Haruna, and then your cherished listeners. From the onset, we indicated that whatever is going on there is total illegality. And the NDC is not respecting anything coming out from that process. Because when the High Court ruled with that service of justice thing, we quickly filed a stay of execution and an appeal against it. Subsequently, when they started, the following day, I went there and addressed media and informed the whole world that, look, the NDC is not part and parcel of this illegality, because we knew that the MPP plus the Electoral Commission, they are colluding to steal the mandate of the people. And we are not surprised. It's played out. You've seen that the MPP who said they didn't have any pink sheet whatsoever have finally came back with scanned copies, that they have scanned copies. And this issue, because they are colluding with them, the Electoral Commission is also using scanned copies to run electoral results. Today, they are being exposed by their own presiding officers. People have cooked results, they have manufactured pink sheets, and they've brought it to declare MPP winners. We know all these things. we are coming back to them at the appropriate time. They think they are getting away with this. And I'm happy the president of some of them, they've stood their ground and exposing what the NPP did.
Right.
They have designed the pink sheet by themselves, scanned it, and brought it, and their collaborators at the Electoral Commission.
And these are, and unfortunately, these are claims that you're making that we cannot readily,
these are not my signatures.
I get that, but these are scanned copies. It does not make them illegal.
Do we use scanned copies for results? Do we do electronic transmission of results? Sign a pink sheet on my laptop and use it to be a scanned copy. But change the figures there. That is my expertise.
Well, what's interesting now is that as a political party, the National Democratic Congress, which says it has enhanced its coalition capabilities, you are unable to equally provide your side of the story in terms of either the scanned copies or perhaps the very hard copies given to Rabna Obin, your candidate. Why are you not providing that?
I am saying that there was a problem over there. They've all agreed 62 pink sheets could not be because there was a disagreement and there were problems and they none of them had pink sheets. The Electoral Commission you don't have. The MPP told us point blank the last IPAC meeting we held. Evans, surprised the way he's speaking today. Told at the IPAC meeting that they don't have pink sheets. They don't have it. So finally they came back and said they had scanned copies. And we said, who uses scanned copies for any election force in Ghana? Because when you say scan copies, I'll also sit in the house and scan copies and bring them. Is that what we want to do? We disputed the scanning and not. Now because we are in court and the matter is that they have their collaborators at the Electoral Commission and they force these scan copies on them. Unfortunately, see, they are not smart. They are not smart election riggers. They went and designed their own scan copies, forced signatures of presiding officers. Now they've come to run away from it. They say that's not yet.
Okay. And here's the point. I'll bring in Haruna shortly, but Dr. Rashid Anko, I just need to draw your attention to this because even as we speak, it appears that the Electoral Commission is still proceeding with the process. 5 out of 7 outstanding pink sheets as we speak has been dealt with. 2 outstanding now. If that process is indeed made complete by the Electoral Commission, you may have a declaration tonight, and that may go either ways. We're not sure of who the candidate will be or the eventual winner, but we understand that the NPP's candidate, Ekuya Efre, has just been ushered in. Are you not worried about all that's happening and the fact that your absence might cost you some more?
My brother, when they did the illegality on 21st December, didn't Supreme Court quash that thing? You remember the illegality they did? That's why we're saying let's follow the legal process. I don't know why this Electoral Commission is so lawless to the extent that they want to defy all processes coming from the court and get away. Why? Why are they doing this? Look, we are not respecting anything coming. Look, even they can swear them. Those illegal guys they swore in. We are coming up after them legally. We will make sure that they won't survive in this parliament because what they did is total illegal, and we are not going to allow it to rest. People shouldn't think that whatever is doing there we are going to respect it. We won't. They are wasting their time.
That's interesting.
Who will ever accept this? People have just manufactured their own pink sheet. Pink sheet they say they didn't have today. They brought them.
And why is yours actually that of the NDC? Your physical copies of the pink sheets.
I've said that there was something happened there, and we lost our pink sheets there. We lost it over. They themselves, the MPP also agreed that they also lost their pink sheets. All of a sudden, they resurrected the scan copies. They have scan copies. Where have you ever seen that scan copies are used to declare any resource? Okay,
and at this point, let's hear from Haruna Mohammed, who's been listening in. And Haruna, what do you think about this? Finding, an amicable solution. At least we need to make headway. Peace must reign. Parliament is in session, and the people of the Ablekuma North constituency are eagerly waiting to have their MP. You're denying them of that as political parties.
Blessed, good evening to you and good evening to your cherished listeners and my colleague, Dr. Rashid Sanko Computer. It's very unfortunate that we are at this particular stage. And I think that you asked a very right question, and it puts me into laughing. And my brother had to jump that question and then had to say something different. He talked about illegality, and he also talking about scan copy. And first, you ask yourself, what brought us here? Election has been conducted by due process. Election is completed. Whilst we are doing collation, the NDC came with their boys, disrupted collation, and torn pink sheet of the commission. The NDC, they did so. All of us as political parties, in regulation 39 of CI 127, were given copies of the pink sheets. The NDC, who disrupted and destroyed and torn these pink sheets, has their copies. Where did they put it? You ask him rightly so. Mind you, blessed, before our pink sheet will get to the collation center, we have the constituency collation center. The pink sheet goes to the collation constituency center first. And when it gets there, the first thing we do is to scan them. So that is why we have all scanned copies of the pink sheet. Then when the pink sheet is scanned, then the pink sheet is then transported to the collation center, that is the constituency collation center, where the EC has designated for collation to come on. So at that point, the NDC went to disrupt it and torn them. We have in this country a law that governs electronic transactions of 2008, Act 772. So there is every basis to have an electronic copy of a document that you can use for any transaction.
I get that point, that indeed you can do an electronic transaction, but in this case of the election, the CI governing this election has no provision at all for this electronic or scan copies. That's on record. And just to point us as well that you've been making claims against the NDC, we have no way of verifying who's behind this attacks and the distraction happening.
The same behavior he is putting up at the collation center today. That was the same behavior the organizer was putting up. They destroyed it. Later on, we saw that papers were bent in a school that is meant to develop the human capital base of this country. The young people in that constituency have been deprived to have access to such an education infrastructure. Secondly, he's talking about illegality. Blessed, all the processes have gone through. You have done your. Somebody has come to disrupt the completion of the. A competent court of jurisdiction by application of mandamus has declared that the person be allowed to exercise, a public officer be allowed to complete an exercise through the legal jurisprudence. We went through the legal processes and the law spoke, and we went to continue collation and declaration. Then you say it's an illegality. Where lies this particular illegality in this particular instance? Nothing untoward, I repeat, nothing untoward happened. There is no any illegality. They have the opportunity to go to court to change the entire process if they know that they have something to discuss or something to do in court. Per CI 127 Regulation 43, this thing has been gazetted. They can pick it from Gazette and go and file an election petition.
But even the court processes that you're referring to now is not looking at what it is that the National Democratic Congress is doing in terms of fresh processes. Supreme Court as we speak. Why are you not mindful of that as the New Patriotic Party? Because briefly, already as we speak, some 3 others have made it through. They've been sworn in as members of Parliament, except to say that any adverse decision of the Supreme Court again might affect all of these candidates who have their results declared in your favor.
Seen that happen in Jatiquesin, that they have gone to court and then he was sworn in Parliament and still came out and followed through the court process is the same thing that is going to go. You remember in this country there has been a case, and then where the MP was in Parliament, it was decided after 4 years. Is there? Let's allow the legal processes to go through. You cannot say that because of somebody has difficulty with a certain process, the law should not go and the people should be denied representation. The people also have the right to be represented, and that is why they have to allow the process to go. They should follow through the legal processes. And he's talking about there are people, like you asked him the question, where there are people who were not there. It's not compulsory that they should be there. Regulation 37 of the CI is clear. They may. It is about a question of may. If they are not there, it doesn't necessarily mean that collation cannot continue. It is declaration that has to be done in public. And that is why the media is hugely represented in that particular process.
Right.
The advice that I want to give the NDC is that, what is happening today, and they think that it is all about MPP, it will definitely come back, and the point, it will be pointing to them.
Okay, let's take
they are disagreeing with. I'm telling you that we have won those particular seats creditably, and the members of parliament that are in parliament will continue to be the members of parliament until otherwise decided by a
we wait to see what the outcome will be. As we speak, 2 more to go, and then I believe in the next few minutes, perhaps, if we do not have a deadlock, we might just be seeing the announcement of the next MP for Ablekuma North in the Greater Accra region. And of course, Dr. Rashid Tanko is also with us. You've heard Haruna Mohammed raise the points, critical ones, of course, about what might happen beyond today. Your take on that?
I still maintain, my brother, you have seen it yourself. Your media, your men are there covering it. The illegality going on there. The collusion between the MPP and Electoral Commission. Forcing presiding officers to accept pink sheets that they know that emanate from them. Why are we doing this to ourselves as a country? Can't we call these people to order? This Electoral Commission. Look, I'm happy you are referring to him that the CI has nothing to do with scan copies or electronic transmission. There's nothing, completely nothing. These are electoral rules. And these are which were passed by Parliament and which has been used. Our system, time immemorial, has been a manual system. And so therefore we rely on the pin sheet. That is the primary source. You are not talking of electronic scan copies. We will start designing them. I can design a pin sheet for you right now and put figures in there.
But we know that if you do that, that would then amount to illegality.
That is what they are doing. My brother is aware of what they are doing. They are part and parcel of that. Haven't you seen that the presiding officer refused it and said, "This is not mine. I didn't sign this." Where did they get it? I was expecting the police to arrest those people sitting there. I was expecting the police. Hello? Can you hear me?
I'm with you, sir.
I'm saying that I was expecting the police to arrest those officers who brought the document there.
Okay.
Somebody has manufactured them. And they brought it and want to use it to force an illegal MP on Ablekuma North. That is what they are doing there.
Whatever be the case, all we are looking for is peace post the elections. At least we've gone past that now. Ablekuma North wants now to be the blot in that largely successful exercise. If the NDC believes that it does have a case, why not wait and exhaust the legal remedies that you're seeking in court now? At least you might be vindicated at the end of that exercise, no?
That is why we are going through the legal process. Have we done anything on Tawe? We are going through the legal process.
I'm saying that because of what's I'm saying that because of what's precisely happening now at the Greater Accra Regional Collation Center.
You see, a friend of the constituency will go and sit there to defend the constituency. It's different from the party involved.
Unfortunately, it appears that we've lost Dr. Rashid Tanko there, who was just making some critical points about what it is that his party will do about this. Haruna Mohammed is still with us. Haruna, let's wrap up on this. Unfortunately, all of the lines are down now. Of course, we're still waiting just about a couple of minutes more for us to confirm who might be the next MP for the area. Fortunately, Rashid Tanko is not gone. I believe that we can still have a clearer line now to him. You're just about landing on the points there. 30 seconds as we wrap up on the show.
Yes,
Sir.
I was saying that whatever is going on there, the NDC as a party, it's not part and parcel of it. We are completely against the illegality going on there. These people have gone to cook and manufacture pink sheets and said they have scanned them. And they have been exposed. That is what the NDC is talking about. So we want to go through the legal process and stop that illegality. And so we will not be part of this kind of illegality being perpetrated on the people of Ablekuma North. They want to force an illegal MP on them. With this process they are in. That is our position. And we must be very clear. Look, with this country, in fact, we have to do a lot of research. Right. A lot of electoral officers need to be punished.
Okay.
But their involvement in certain nocturnal activity are described as nocturnal activity.
I see.
And how can you sit down and then go and manufacture your own pink sheet,
indeed,
change people's signatures, and come and want to force it to declare people as
it's the Electoral Commission's election to call, but I'm really grateful for spending some time with us. That's Dr. Rashid Tanko, Deputy Director of Elections for the National Democratic Congress, and also to you, Haruna Mohammed, for joining us here on Top Story, brought to you by Telesol, connecting energies, holy insecticide sprays and qual. Enjoy a holy sleep. Top Story with Blessed Sugam. Next is Newsnight.